Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rukak Kudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. And all praises, honor, and glory is definitely due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, especially in the times we're living in, very prophetic times. And as we see, Esau is losing, all the way around. He's losing the information war. He's losing this identity war. He's losing. He's been found out to be who he is, and therefore he's getting sloppy and all over the place. Matter of fact, so let me get that. Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the end of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." See, when Esau sees that he's losing like this, even at war, he know that he's being brought down. He knows that his time is up, so that's what he's doing so much to try to get his footing back. Okay? And he's trying to continue on, and he's going to continue on, towards his end goal, which is that new world order, man. And ultimately chip all y'all. Okay? But he's losing overall, so I want to get a couple of videos I wanted to play. Let me start with this one. Not this one. I'll come back to that one. It's this one. It's a short clip, like 2 minutes long. But I want you to check it out. See that?
We have a white man who is about to win a race. He almost got to the end of the race. The ribbon was almost his. The award was almost his. But he got comfortable. He got so comfortable, he slowed down and started looking at his watch. Because he just assumed that he was going to be the winner of the race. And then all of a sudden, there was a black man. Hats, 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 hats. Started catching up. Hats, 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 hats. Eventually, that black man who was way back there caught up to the white man who just assumed that he was going to be the winner, still looking at his watch, didn't cross the line yet. That black man beat him. That black man surpassed him. And he actually won the race by 2 seconds. Do you want to know what all the major outlets are talking about today? How did the white man lose? Here are the thoughts from the white man who lost. How does it feel, you being a white man losing?
Because Esau not used to losing, and that's why he all of a sudden looking up, you know what I'm saying? And see, this word is going out, okay? And this word condemns him as much as he's used the Bible as a weapon against the Israelites and against the whole world, honestly. you know, to make himself look as an angel of light. You know, he's starting to realize that now he's being condemned by this very same Bible that he once used as a weapon against him. Now it's turning into a weapon against him. Okay? Because the Lord is at work. Okay? See, he got comfortable. And then just out of the blue, this word started going out, and it hit big as it did. And it shook him up. Because they're not used to losing. But see, that let him know that his time is up. So like I said, he's scrambling and gambling. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I want to say about that video is this is symbolic, you know, of matter of fact, I'm going to get it. Second Ezra 6 and is it 9? Yes, so I'm going to start here at verse 7. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of that followed? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. And see that Jacob's hand holding Esau's heel represents, you know, it's symbolic of a transfer of power, a transfer of rulership, a transfer of kingdoms. Okay, Esau's kingdom is coming to an end, and Jacob's right behind him. That's why you hear the brothers a lot sometimes saying, we got next. You know what I'm saying? Because the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth. That's going to be heaven for the Israelites. Governed by the Israelites. Under Yahweh Shai, of course. You know, King David. You know. So it's our time. You know, they've had their time, and their time is coming to an end. And see, this is what's scaring to them. You know what I'm saying? And so now that's why he's scrambling and gambling, trying to figure out what to do, because he wants to prolong his rulership and make it a perpetual one. And that's what he believes he can do if he establishes his new world order. You know what I'm saying? But let me get this in Job chapter 20 and 4. It says, Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay, and Esau is that wicked ass hypocrite being spoken of right here, you know, and he has triumphed. You know what I'm saying? He's received his blessing. He's conquered the whole world. He's turned the whole world upside down and got everybody believing that he's a god. You know what I'm saying? Worshiping him as if he's the most Lord. Lucifer in action right now, man. Lucifer winning right now. But it's come to an end. You know, and I remember a while back I seen a video one of the brothers put up. I want to say it was probably the Elder Yasharumba where I seen it from first. But it was like an animation of, you got a so-called white man, which is Esau, and a so-called black man representing Jake, you know, the Israelites. And it's a race. And it's like the Jake in the video automatically, Esau in the video automatically had like a 20-year head start. So this is like a life race, you know what I'm saying? And so going throughout the race, you know, once Jake do get to running, It's like he's caught up with all kind of obstacles. You know what I'm saying? He get over one obstacle, and he fall again. He get up, pick himself back up, run again. You know what I'm saying? And then fall again. And Esau just running toward that finish line. And it was just like right when he was about to get to that finish line, it showed that black hand, that so-called black hand, a brown hand, grabbed that so-called white heel. So that was an animation, very beautifully put together. I wish I could find it, but that's what it was going into. And this video really reminds me of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when you look at it, it says the video is spiritual. It really is. Let me go back a little bit on it. Yeah, so I mean that's very spiritual, man. Just seeing it there, and of course everybody's wondering, yeah, how did the white man lose? Okay, and see, everybody's gonna be. That's how everybody's gonna feel in the kingdom. Matter of fact, let me get that. That's spiritual. Isaiah 41:16, it says, "They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that did that did make the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?" With his missiles, his atomic bombs and shit, and drones. Yeah. It says, "That made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as in raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down into the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet." And see, Esau knows that once this is over with, he has 1,000 years of captivity. You know what I'm saying? Read that in the book of Revelations, and then after that, he's just gonna be eradicated from the earth. You know what I'm saying? Won't be no more Edomites. That said Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That said the Lord, man. And so he knows this. Okay? So verse 20 says, "Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. They that do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities." Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, everybody gonna look at him like I said at the beginning. It's like, is this the man that made the earth? Is this Esau? You know what I mean? And right now, that's the thing. It's like, Esau, how did you lose? I remember your kingdom. That's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. Everybody gonna be like, I remember your kingdom. How the fuck did you lose? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's used to Esau winning. Esau is used to winning. He's not used to losing, and he's a sore loser. So best believe he's getting ready to come down with a lot. And also that brother in these spiritual, and it made me think about spiritual powers too. You know what I'm saying? The way that brother was running, and the way he caught up from that far behind in just a few seconds, man, bro was getting it, man. But we gonna be able to run. You know what I'm saying? This symbolizes we're gonna be able to run and defend ourselves against Esau, because as he knows that his time is running out, you know what I'm saying, and he's been knowing it for a while now. He's already realized that he also have to protect himself, even while he's trying to build his new world order. He has to protect himself, because he knows that eventually the 144,000 and that the elect men are gonna wake up with spiritual powers, man. They're gonna be endowed with spiritual powers. You know what I'm saying? And they coming after him. You know? So that's why he created super soldiers. You know what I'm saying? All these different robots, robot dogs. You know what I'm saying? They got even got laser guns. You know, Esau's a fool with this, man. But this was his blessing. So yeah. And the Lord didn't half-ass his blessing with Esau. So don't expect him to do it with his chosen people, man. The kingdom of heaven is gonna be beyond immaculate, man. There's nothing here for us, man. So we strive for the truth unto death, man. Straight up. You can't even scare us with death. We so ready to leave this place, man. And we so ready to see our enemy's downfall. You know. Matter of fact, let's get that. I notice in the book of Matthew, what is that? Ecclesiasticus. I know we went into it the other day. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 25. And it's going to be verse 7. It says, "There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." Okay? And man, I want to see that downfall of Esau. I want to be around to see it. Okay? And obviously Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai wants us to be around to see it. You know, Lord will be at that number. But brother, have faith in that, man. Have faith that you can be at that number. Just like we'll say, so somebody got to be the 2/3. Hey, look here, somebody got to be the 1/3 too, man. So keep your faith, brothers. You know, straight up. That woe is me spirit ain't gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Believe that you'll be at that number, man. And in your belief, your faith, you're gonna and your fear of the Lord, you're gonna automatically do what you have to do, you know. If you got something to repent about, you're gonna automatically do it. The Spirit of the Lord will be on you. You know what I'm saying? Something you need to change about yourself, you'll do it. But you know you're not perfect in this body. You know what I'm saying? So we don't let our sins weigh us down, you know, and we know our iniquities lift up themselves, you know. And the more we beat ourselves up, the less we're going to be building ourselves up. The time that you spend beating yourself up, spend it building yourself up. And that's a lesson. So, but yeah, it made me think about that, because why else would Esau be building all this his shit, man, coming up with all this, using his technology, anything he can spend all the money he got on, this is what he's spending it on, because he knows that he has a war coming his way. a very spiritual war. That's why he also created the Space Force, because he's getting ready to have to go toe to toe, with the Great One on one with the Great One, and that Great One is Yahweh Shah, man. So he's preparing, Let me get this here and get ready to close this out, this other video.
Okay? Alright? Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he?
And this is from the channel GMS, Barack Allah. Do subscribe, be edified.
Researchers, in fact, tonight at least 13 high-ranking scientists and researchers have either died or have gone missing entirely. All of them tied to nuclear, defense, or space technology. Some of them even warned the public before their alleged suicides that they were not suicidal. First, you have Amy Eskridge, a young, rising
This is the scientist I was talking about. More information coming out. She's patent, creating some stuff for free energy. Once you go against Esau, man, you the CIA, the Mossad, they coming after your ass. And her stories is nuts. That they, the things they were doing unto her, she knew she was going to get taken out. So that's why it's important when you cover under the blood of the Lamb. They can't touch you. These people not.
And call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. If you see that time, it's 11:44. Looking back down at the phone. So call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah for that. And yeah, right now, Esau is now, or he's been doing it throughout some time. Just when you get certain whistleblowers and stuff like that, he's gonna basically get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? So these are people that were so-called, that were scientists or whatever, and they discovered certain things that is being covered up. You know what I'm saying? Certain things about the UFOs, certain things about everything, so-called UFOs. You know what I'm saying? Things that they don't want us to know. You know what I'm saying? But we know. Like they know we're going to get spiritual powers. If you look up Simeon Toko and get the story on that, this guy had spiritual powers. And this was back in the 1960s. And he said that there will be more to come like me. And you won't be able to stop him. You know what I mean? And he's speaking of the 144,000, the elect men, man. So yeah, Esau's getting ready to come down with that great wrath, and right now he's eliminating that third witness. So let me go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 17 right quick. What am I doing here? Deuteronomy 17, and I will begin at verse 6. It says, "At the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of one witness he shall not be put to death." Okay, and so you go to the book of Revelation. You know what I'm saying? You got the two witnesses. Let's go to Revelation 11 and 3. It says, "And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth." Okay, and that two witnesses is speaking of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom as we're coming together. And we'll read this further down in Revelation 11 and 11. But we're coming together and we're prophesying, man. And we're calling this man out on his wickedness. Okay? We are bearing witness now of his wickedness. And every time he do something, we speaking on it. Okay? And see what happened with this truth going out and this man being exposed. A lot of other people, even those who don't believe, don't subscribe to this truth, it may not be Israelites, you know, but they have a platform and they choose to use that platform to speak upon things that they see. Because even though they don't believe our word, they don't always, but they know that we're right. They don't want to believe it, but they'll know we're right. And so they use it, you know, some are just exposing it out of their hearts. Some of them probably just to make money. Some of them control the opposition. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? But see, you got a lot of truthers out there, you know what I'm saying, like you're listening to now, that's been brought out information, you know what I'm saying? And because of doing that, like I said, well, you can't just come up against Esau like that. You know what I'm saying? You become a traitor to him, and what would he do? He unalive you. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening, is that the third witness is being persecuted. The third witness is being persecuted. That's these truthers, as we would say. Okay? And these people these people that expose the truth. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have the biblical narrative to go with it. They have a little bit of it. They bring out scriptures sometimes. But they don't have that Holy Spirit. They don't have that eye salve. You know what I'm saying? So they don't fully get it. You know? But that's the purpose of them having these podcasts and stuff. They have something to talk about all the time because they don't fully get it. But they'll just keep going in circles. You know, but anyway, you know, ultimately, man, Esau is losing the information war, and he's been exposed throughout all these years and even more now. So we're going to go back to the video. You know, I've rambled enough.
These people now covered under the blood of the Lamb.
Reported dead by suicide in 2022. But before her death, she reportedly said something chilling.
I'm scared. And over the past 12 months, it's been like escalating, like more aggressive, more invasive, digging through my underwear drawer and sexual threats over the past like 3 to 6 months. And now I'm like, I have to publish. I have to publish. It's only going to get worse until I publish. There's no way out of this up situation.
Exactly what she was talking about, we're not sure. Certainly had.
But ultimately, when you're when you under contract with this devil, man, you have to do that. You know, just like she's saying, I have to publish, or they gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that I seen somebody talking about it, that how there's a lot of people, singers and stuff, that's still performing because they have to perform. You know what I'm saying? See, you got this career, you got all this money, but he owns you. You see what I'm saying? And she was exposing that. You know? Like, she didn't want to do whatever she was doing no more. She's ready to retire. You never retire fucking with Esau, man.
Concern, she said, about being watched, even reportedly told friends and family she would never kill herself. And then she turned up dead. That was in 2022. Then you have Michael David Hicks, whose work was connected to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Hicks dies in 2023, and details surrounding his death remain limited publicly. But his name becomes part of a growing list tied to high-level research. In 2024, former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer Matthew James Sullivan is found dead. Interestingly, right before he could testify in a federal whistleblower case about UFOs. There's been no release for a cause of death there. Also in 2024, Frank Mywald, a senior engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, passed away. His work was on space instrumentation and detection of life on distant moons. His cause of death was never made public. No autopsy was ever performed. Another loss, another quiet headline. At this point, neither case is raising eyebrows nationally, right? But then we move to 2025, and that's where things get really bizarre. During the last year alone, we saw over a half dozen disappearances and or deaths tied to our nuclear industry. In May, when Anthony Chavez, a researcher at the Los Alamos nuclear facility, went missing, reports say he just simply walked off without any of his personal belongings. Then you have Monica Reza, who disappeared in June of that same year, 2025. Also worked at Los Alamos nuclear facility as a NASA senior aerospace engineer, helping create a special alloy for rockets. She went missing while out on a hike. 4 days later, Melissa Kaisis would also be reported missing, also in New Mexico, also reportedly got up and walked off without any personal belongings. Do you see the trend here? And just now today, we're learning about another death, the death of Joshua LeBlanc. This death taking place in Alabama. LeBlanc was a 29-year-old NASA engineer working on nuclear propulsion systems. He was found dead in his Tesla after a crash. He was burned beyond recognition, but his personal belongings were all left at home. Reports say his car
Right. But that's the point, man.
sat in an airport hours earlier, but no trip had been planned. How about
So that's the point. You know, you can look up this information.
Yeah, and they're ultimately coming after that third witness, and I believe he gets into it. Let me see. The most recent one.
All right, this guy right here.
Even though the TV is off, it can still hear everything that's being said in the room and broadcast it back to the CIA.
I've heard you say that they can hack.
Let me see if it's on here. This here, right here.
Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it, man. Esau is the end of the world. All right?
Particular timeline that we're on leads to your defeat. There is no getting around that. You are not being in integrity, but you don't care. But if you don't do this, we are screwed, man. You think this is all natural? You think nobody's coordinating any of this stuff? You think I want to talk about this? You think I want to be up here on this fucking camera talking about this shit?
Yep.
Honest to God.
You're dealing with the father of spirits, man. And you Edomites is one you talking about. You Edomites are screwed, man. Screwed up. You're gonna get fucked up. It's gonna be destroyed. You're going into captivity.
Con, man. Con. And so yeah, that's what's going on. These truthers are being off. He's the most recent one from a couple of days ago, and now he's one that brought out about the guy that I said had spiritual powers, Simeon Toko. So I mean, look that information up, you know. But yeah, but that's pretty much it. They're coming after the third witness, you know, and eventually they'll come after us. That's definitely another lesson for another time. But let me give Revelation 11:11. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Okay, because when the spirit of life entered into his men, you know what I'm saying, you know, we got up and we start speaking, you know what I'm saying, and we're speaking the Bible in truth, you know, bringing out the Bible with 100% truth and sincerity, man. And this devil sees that, and he knows his time is up, so he's very afraid. Okay? So yeah, it says great fear fell upon them. Okay? It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven, having said unto him, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Okay? So, because the Lord is going to raise us up. You know what I'm saying? And raise us up in these chariots, you know what I'm saying, before he destroys this place. So our enemies gonna see us, you know, rise up. Our enemies are gonna see us, you know, ascend, you know, into those chariots, you know. And hey, that's salvation, man. That's what we're looking forward to. So I just wanted to report on that. Not sure exactly what I'm gonna title this lesson, but yeah, things are happening. Esau is losing you know, the information war, he's losing, like I said, he's losing all the way around. You know what I'm saying? And this is a show for us, man, because we're hastening the day of our Lord Yahweh Shah to return, man, and bring this man down and set up his kingdom, man, right here on earth. You know, but I'm gonna end it there, giving all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rukak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who will teach well and keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel, man. Stay circumspect. Okay, stay aware of what's going on around you, man, because things are happening and they're happening quickly. Okay, so yeah, so that'll be it. Shalom.